Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakak with us. Double honors unto the elders, Apostle Great Millstone, the elders of Great Millstone. And of course, peace and blessings under the hopeful elect. That's the seer sermon say Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, serve and truth and sincerity. Of course, coming out here in Babylon Great, of course, teaching the word of Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Hey, and it's a lot of things happening, this week. Obviously the shutdown has affected a lot of things. SNAP. You have the of course airlines shutting down now. Or basically what it's a lot of flights getting canceled.
TSA.
Yeah, TSA.
They're part of the contract, so they have to slow down. They have to slow down their services. Longer wait times, and because they got a federal contract, I believe, and they're getting paid by the federal government, if I'm not mistaken. And some of them ain't showing up to work, even though federal employees.
Yeah. Hey, and again, it's affecting a lot of people. You got TSA, and then also got basically got the flight controllers, or basically the people who helped the plane whatever maneuver. So hey. And ultimately, what it goes to show you that people they're just there to get paid ultimately. If they don't get paid, hey, they dip. So the whole airport would shut down.
Yeah, because that's regulated by that government. Even though they're private companies, the government's business. You have different parts of airports that have to be regulated by the government, federally. All right? It's a degenerate right there. Only degenerates do shit like that. All right? That's a Northern Kingdom degenerate?
Okay. Yeah, that's Northern Kingdom. Yeah,
you see the big wheels, the rims, the rattling. They don't even put the rattle, they can't afford the rattle cages, whatever you call them things, and they're degenerates. All right, those are not people you want to make friends with. You might want to do crimes with them or whatever, or make repeated dumbass mistakes. But like guys like that, they're not going to come into the faith. All right. That's why as you mature in the faith, your circle just gets smaller. And if it ain't, you better check yourself. Right? Your circle should be very small. Now, the federal employees, the companies that operate within the airports, which are private companies, they still are regulated by the government. You got to have people that check for weapons and explosives, police officers. They operate under the federal government and some local authorities. Right? The police can be dispatched locally there to handle like noise complaints and disorderly conduct. Crimes. So if the government doesn't come back on, which that's all a plan for the chaos anyway. The government shouldn't be shut down. There should be no. It's planned chaos, planned obsolescence. Like the technology they built the outdated technology in. Like the integrated circuits they make, they know that shit gonna fail. All right, integrated circuits were a monumental invention, but they know that shit gonna fail eventually. So they gotta use a computer every 5 years, roughly. You start having problems. It depends on the computer you get and the operating system too. I remember Windows XP, Windows Me. Windows Me was trash, terrible. Windows XP probably was the best one. But Windows Me, that was a terrible operating system. Crashes, we had to reinstall operating systems constantly, had to do the backup. I always had to do that. That's what, in fact, years ago, as soon as I would put a fresh operating system on, I would immediately create not a partition, but a recovery disk or a recovery spot where all my apps were installed. So it's built-in obsolescence, okay? That's Esau's design, so you can continue to make money off of the software and the hardware, all right? What you got?
So it says Isaiah chapter 19 and 14. It says, the Lord Yahweh hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit.
Yeah, and it's only going to increase. The chaos and confusion is only going to increase. All right, as we move farther in to, Jacob's trouble. All right, there can be waves, of increased pressure and what seems like relief, but eventually it's going to come to a head with the Argentinian microchip. Where you at?
Isaiah 19.
19 what?
And 14.
Go ahead, read it.
It says Isaiah 19 and 14. The Lord Yahweh hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt which a head or tail, branch or rush may do. And what? Of course, ultimately, we're seeing that. How basically this government shutdown is affecting a lot of jobs. So, we're already seeing this prophecy coming to pass. It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt. So, and then also, you got, of course, AI. You got, of course, all these layoffs from these different tech companies, such as Amazon. Of course, you got these other companies such as Target, UPS, going down the list. And again, without a doubt, we are in these times.
Right, because the middle management or upper management, corporate, they are the first ones that's going to go. Before they get rid of manual labor, they absolutely going to, because that costs more money, manual labor, if you want to invest in automation. But the management, no, they can get rid of their ass. They can reduce that. And certain, like I mentioned in my other video, anything that you type into a computer can be automated, all right? So if you type in something down and looking for errors on a screen, that can be, a computer can do that. So if you don't know, so if you're not very good at what you do, or you don't pivot, your job is subject to be ate up by AI. Right? That's why moving into the future, it's going to get so bad, especially for the elect, because Yahushua writes out, we are not going to take the implant. Because what the prophecy is that if you take the implant, you're able to buy and sell. If you take, we're not taking the implant, so we're going to have to depend on divine intervention, the Holy Spirit, and brothers to take care of each other.
It says, Isaiah 19 and 16, in that day shall Egypt be like unto woman, and it shall be afraid and feared because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord Yahweh of hosts, which he shaketh over it. It says, and the land of Judah shall be a terror.
Shaking in the hand. Yeah, go into that.
Yeah, Khan. Yeah, read again. It says, Isaiah 19 and 16, in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and feared because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord Yahweh of hosts, which he shaketh over it. Yeah, and of course, ultimately we of course understand how Yahweh Shai is going to bring, a lot of judgments over this place. Of course, basically paraphrasing, the scriptures going to the different plagues that, of course, the Lord's going to bring upon this place.
Right, and the shaking of the hand of the Lord is the prophets prophesying the destruction and all the calamities that's coming down on Babylon. All right. Yahushua, before he destroys a place, Yahweh, before he destroys a place, he sends his prophets out to tell you about the destruction, tell you that what's going to come to pass. All right. So we speak before it's even said. But we speak before it comes to pass. So we start seeing it, small bits of evidence of it. The apostles, the elders are already out on the street prophesying. Mad, beckoning with the hand. All right, beckoning with the hand means doing this, like that. All right, where you represent the hand and the mouth of Yahushua. are the powers on earth as representatives of Yahushua. All right? We have the top knowledge on the planet Earth. All right? The very top. All right? And we've been trained for, what, 10, 15, 20 years in the teachings of Yahushua via the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. So we can deal with any issue, you know? Now, the thing is, when we deal with certain issues, some of them are not fruitful or even edifying. So, like if someone were to come up to me with on a certain angle, I'm not stupid. I don't have to engage with you in your argument or on what you want to figure out that I know. All right, because your information is more than likely useless. All right. Like the burial spot of Moses. Where was Moses buried? Where is it today? That's useless information. Then someone pulls out a scripture in the Talmud or some other reference material. I mean, that's useless information where Moses was buried. Where was Jacob buried? All right.
Got precept.
They put that, and it tells you that he picked his bones. They took either Joseph's bones or Jacob's bones, I forget, when he left Egypt. All right? That's not relevant information. We don't need to know. We didn't know about the prophecies, evidence that the prophecies are coming, and we can see that it's going to escalate. All right? It may take a couple of months, it may take a couple of years, but it's going to happen. All right? We're still watching. We're watching and waiting. It says, though it tarry, wait for it. What?
It says Titus chapter 3 and 9. It says, but avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain.
Right, unprofitable, and empty, vain, vapor, air, whatever that word means. Wait, what's the word there for vain?
Con, it says matayos, meaning devoid of force, truth, success, result. It says useless, of no purpose.
Yeah, there we go. So we got to be very, we don't have to negotiate with you. It says, Scripture say a heretic after the first and second admonition reject. All right. So we don't have to engage in your line of thinking. You can just go. I mean, the apostles been saying that for years now. We don't have to debate Christians and these atheists. We're above these people when it comes to the knowledge of the Scriptures. And we're not out here to negotiate and make you understand anything. That's not our job. Our job is to preach. And if you're given grace, then that's good. If you're not, then that's good too. Everything's good. We're fulfilling the office, and you're fulfilling who you are. All right? If you're a degenerate, if you avoid the knowledge, that's who you're supposed to be. And we fully accept that. And we're going to move on. Right? And at times, we might entertain it, depending on what it is. Go ahead. Were you finished with that?
It's a little more.
Some more?
It's gone. It says Titus chapter 3 and 10, a man that is an heretic after the first and second admonition reject, knowing that that is such a subverted and sinneth, being condemned of himself.
Yeah, he's already subverted. His mind he's already subject to Satan already. So we don't have to entertain it. Now it depends if it's edifying. I mean, we'll case by case basis. Even some things that are edifying, may not be proper at the time, depending on what it is. For example, going into the so-called grape doctrine, it's edifying, but it may not be appropriate for the current time period that what we're talking about. We're talking about one thing, and then you come out and say, "Oh, don't y'all great people?" Like, okay, I mean that's not relevant to what we're talking about. And where's your evidence of that being? That's weird. So yeah, the competition would be edifying, but again, it's nonsense. Right? We don't have to keep engaging in your damn lies every single time you want. Right? We're gonna argue our points when we want to argue our points. Right? If we get a crowd of 10,000, people, out here, and we see, okay, they want to know, then we'll go into it. We'll go into it, you know, if they really don't know. But if it's some fucking clown walking up telling them, oh, I heard y'all great people, like great 12-year-olds. I'm like, you're a fucking, you're a degenerate. You're a degenerate. I don't have to answer you. It's not. I have no obligation to give you information. All right, and you're presenting that statement with no evidence. You just pulled it out your ass, or repeating something somebody else said.
Foolish and unlearned questions of boy.
One of the things brothers just read that, right? And a heretic after the first and second admonition reject. You just read that too. So we know we're moving into those times where the like the brother we started off, the government shutdown is affecting the you getting through closet government facilities. You know, because the airports are regulated by the federal government. All right, and the SNAP benefits didn't go through. So it's suffering. But you had certain states that had passed certain emergency funds to go through with certain states, but then you know if you got it or not. All right, other states didn't receive anything, or they received partial SNAP benefits. They had food banks, and some states had like food banks set up where people were donating. You can go and get food there. You know, but a lot of people, not a lot, but some people they trade their food stamps for money, for cash. So they. I've had a couple of women come up to me and say, oh, you can get this amount off the car, just give me the cash. So that hustle, can't do that. Can't do it if you were in a state that was affected.
A major hustle.
So, if they got some kind of disability or something, or they got children. And that's why Trump changed the able-bodied law. So, if you're able-bodied and you don't have dependents, then you have to work a certain amount of hours. And then they changed the age from 18 to 14 for women that are receiving, I believe, SNAP. 18 years old, a dependent, down to 14 years old, dependent. That's only 4 years, but that's if that child, or that's an adult actually, technically, but legally, if he's 17, you're still technically a minor. Or you're 15, you got 3 more years until you out the house. Then who leave the house at 18 anyway? So you're still a dependent. You're still a dependent, and that's suffering. That's suffering. How much is that per month? 200, 400, 600? If you have 15-year-old children, 15, 17, and 13, so you lost it for 2. That's according to Trump's changing of the law. And if the SNAP, but then the SNAP not going out anyway because the federal government shut down. So that's like a double whammy right there. So you got the changing of the law. I'm only focused on the dependents, and if you don't have dependents, then you fucked up too. Because people they still get benefits without dependents because they have some type of disability. So, but again, if you want the benefits, you know what you, because you've been making phone calls, you've been getting the emails. We don't get it, so I'll have to research it. People that are on it already know.
But that's why, you can't. There's too many people reliant on the government. There's too many people that rely on that. That need that. It says not to trust in the horsemen in his ride. Don't trust in Egypt for help. And the problem is, as things get harder and harder in society, more and more people are going to become reliant on the government. And the government is just an unreliable entity. And realistically, they can make themselves appear more reliant or reliable when that RFID CHIP come out. Because now, there might be this method and mode that gets you more money, it's more reliable, whatever. But you shouldn't be relying on the damn devil or this government, because look at how the majority of our people fucked up.
Yeah, well, it's secure. Implant is going to secure your. Implant is going to secure. Implant is going to secure your benefits. That makes sense for your implant to secure your benefits.
Yep.
So this could be a way to cause chaos and then establish order, you know, with the implantable microchip.
Because I think they're already trying to come out. I think they were proposing a bill that, you know, if a government shutdown happens, that non-governmental entities will still get paid, but then any type of government official that, you know, kind of was the reason why the government shutdown happened anyways, they would not get paid. So there would be more of a reason to keep the government, you know, to not allow the government to shut down. I think there was like two, I forget what video I was watching, was like 2 bills that the guy was trying to propose when it comes to government shutdowns and not paying, you know, officials and employees and stuff like that or whatever.
Yeah, they built the destruction of America, Babylon in. They the ones that wrote the damn law. It's all electronic. Like who the hell is? Nobody's typing a damn number in the computer. So they just stopped using the computers. The computers just.
You know, it's also fucked up.
They had to fucking stop the computer. You know, from putting the money in there. They had to physically stop the computer because the federal government was shut down.
Yeah.
So the payments wouldn't go out.
Yep. And the fucked up thing is a lot of remember now we pay all this money to the government and all that.
Right, that didn't stop.
Yeah.
So it's all a plan.
Yeah.
He saw the devil.
I know. Yeah, we still paying all this money in taxes and for the government and all that, and they just shut down whenever the hell they want, and then you know, we still gotta pay them. That didn't shut down. They still raping me in fucking taxes. That didn't stop. You know.
Yeah. So teaching, I mean, it's built in. The destruction. It's all planned. That's how we know about the workers of iniquity. They work in the dark. Psalm 64, I believe. Right. They control the system. Like we're in the Matrix.
Yep. And their system's just fucking flawed and bullshit any damn way. That's why it needs to be destroyed.
Yeah, we live in the Matrix. I just made a video on something here tonight, or in the morning, that everything that we like and dislike is all social engineered.
Yeah, 100%. There you go.
Yeah, you like certain sports, food places. It's all, and the way we use a computer, that's all was created.
Exactly. Yep.
So that's the options that we have. Then you pick an option that the elite invented.
And it changes through fads and phases and stuff like that. And I feel like nowadays things are so rapidly changing. You know, back in the day, you know, you'd have something that would be a fad for a good couple of years, you know. If you look at the way houses were structured 20, 30 years ago, everything kind of was cookie cutter. Now you look at how houses are structured now, it's all cookie cutter, like what you think is modern, what you seek after. But it's all, like the brother said, it's all programming. So when you go and see a house, you're like, man, it's a, you know, this apartment complex, $2,000 a month, but it, you know, looks quote unquote nice, but it's just cookie cutter to every nice apartment that you're paying $2,000 plus for. But it's like the idea that, you know, everybody should be attaining after that is a mindset that they put into you, you know. Try to get you to like that type of lifestyle.
Yeah, well, there's the options we have. You know, we got that, and we got, or you can buy a house.
Yep.
That's a trick too. So we have the illusion of choices.
Yep. There you go.
You done with that?
Oh, gone. So it says Psalm chapter 64, 4, or yeah, it says Psalm chapter 64 and 1. It says, to the chief musician of Solomon David. It says, hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. It says, preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword.
You can step there. Yeah, who said this? So that secret counsel is so-called enlightened Edomites that that went throughout the earth and established their systems, you know, and they strong-arm and threaten countries to open up operations in their country so they can get their resources, their oil, and their minerals. And if you don't, they'll send, set up adversaries against you. Right? They'll create enemies, warlords, and destabilize your country. Right? Unless you allow their companies to come in and set up shop to take the minerals out of the earth. Right? They're greedy. I told you that in the book of James. They're greedy. They want everything. The rich of this earth. and they're not gonna. It's not gonna be like that forever. The system's gonna collapse eventually. This is why you got Edomites, so-called white people. They think they're white. They're not. That's something they invented in 1681 to be a white person. And that a white person didn't exist before 1681. That's something they invented and continue to hold on to because it's a stronghold. It's a mental stronghold. They invented it in 1681. Before that, there was no such thing as a white person. All right, then it came with this race theory. The niggas' brains are smaller and then, you know. But it's not going to be like that forever. Esau, that stronghold, where the scriptures say he's going to destroy the covering cast over all the people, Isaiah. Right? Finish it off.
Yeah, Khan. It says Psalm chapter 64:3, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Yeah, you know, and of course we understand how Esau's preparing his AI, and you know, ultimately we understand how Esau's going to use his AI to against the prophets, you know, against ultimately, you know, the Lord's elect, you know.
Because the AI is getting pretty.
Yeah, it's getting it pretty good. Yeah, really good. Yeah, really good.
Like little glitches or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Like I saw a cat. I saw there's a ferret or a weasel attack a hen. And then a cat came out of behind the hens and grabbed the weasel. Started biting them. I've been seeing a lot of videos like that. Cats protecting hens, but one in particular was AI. I don't know if all of them were AI, but the one in particular, where the cat bit the weasel on the neck to protect the hen house.
And these people are so damn gullible. So like even when AI was really obvious, when you, like their hands were constantly getting jacked up and stuff like that, people were falling, you know, victim to not realizing it's AI. Now it's a little bit, you know, there's still some tails, you know, in AI and stuff, but people are so gullible, they don't question anything, man. They just everything they see for fact, man. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how foolish these people can really be tricked, like just like that, man.
And we give them free video. We give them hundreds of hours or thousands of hours, 10,000 hours of video of us. They can make 3D models of us if they want, you know, and make us do whatever and say whatever and train our voice on whatever. So, you know, you gotta check the source. You gotta check the original source.
Yeah, especially when we have years upon years of footage uploaded to the internet, you know.
You got our mannerisms down and how we speak.
100%. Yep.
You know, our eyebrows and the forehead will move. You know.
Yeah, all that data.
They can run that through a what they need, like high powered like video cards or whatever, processors. And,
whatever software that we use.
Yeah, training data.
And, you know, process, you know, all their information really quickly on a high level. You can do it on low level too. But they they got computers that can do it in like an hour. All our data from all the years, you know, with their high, you know.
Would you don't know that this could easily lead to, like, you know, the kill switch bill that they passed many years ago. Like the fact that it's rapidly, you know, it could cause a what's that called, a threat or something like that, with certain videos being posted out there that you don't know whether or not it's AI or not. They can create stricter rules or regulations for the internet. They can make there be some sort of sign up fee and all this other fees to just access the web. Like, 'cause they got rid of net neutrality years ago. So there's options that they can do to make to secure the internet, you know, to where videos like this can't even go out or whatever, or however they wanted to try to, you know, how could you say, bottleneck the internet or whatever. But they can use this AI as a form of a security threat. It's really
you want to go into net neutrality? That's
yeah.
I mean, you want to go into that?
Because that's from a couple years ago. I got rid of net neutrality.
You know that?
It's a little more. God, so it says Psalm chapter 64:4 that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Yeah, of course we understand the perfect, of course, you know, represented the Israelites. It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? It says they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Yeah, again, you know, so Esau goes real deep, you know, within his AI. You know, again, as the scriptures say, you know, basically his knowledge is going to surpass the wisdom of Daniel. Or basically his wisdom is going to surpass that of Daniel's. Basically paraphrasing.
Yeah, 'cause when you train something, that means you give it, you build a profile. That's how you would build a profile on images, movement, voice. You just keep giving the computer different things about the image and the voice until it creates a duplicate of the thing the information that you kept giving it. Like the voice, how a person would say a certain word, how their hands would move, how the head would move, and the eyebrows, the way they would look, and it just keeps getting like a million copies, not a million, like 10,000 copies of each piece of information, and then building up the best hand movement, the best lip and volume of the voice based upon all the input the computer received. All right, so that's what it means to train. That's the way I understand it. So, is that it?
Well, it says Psalm chapter 64:7, but the Most High shall shoot at him, or at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So it says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Yes, ultimately, hey, dude. As a saying goes, the Rockefeller, he basically said the worst thing that they could have done was to basically release the internet. And with AI, that's a huge double-edged sword for Esau, because even though Esau can do a whole bunch of this, concerning his left-hand agenda, hey, ultimately, it's a lot of truth getting out as well, on the right-hand side.
Yeah. And you can remotely operate things. And they do it through the internet.
Yeah.
So, fucked. And if you do it through the internet, it can be hacked. It's like certain private networks that you can that are around cities where you can lease the fiber line or whatever, and operate between different locations. But the simplest way is accessing it through the internet. Remotely. So if you're accessing the internet remotely, it can be attacked. Right? That's why certain you'll hear about energy companies getting hacked. Well, because they have their systems on the internet. If it's a private network, it's impossible for it to be hacked. You have to be on the location for it to be hacked. The only way it can be hacked that means you have remote control through a public network. All right. If it's totally private, it can't be hacked unless you're on location. You have to be on location. So anytime you hear, the Russians hacked oil company because they have their information going over the internet, because they're sharing and controlling their different plant operations internationally or nationally through the internet. Communicating with their different locations or whatever, or controlling their different locations remotely through the internet. And if they had a private network set up, meaning a physical line, like a fiber line, then it's going to be transported somewhere through the air eventually. So now if you have a private line, then you have to go on like you see the different movies. They break into a building, they got to break into the building, into the bank. To get the money, they got to go to the bank, because that's the system they're trying to attack is private. You can't access it through the internet. Right? But the simplest way to have your operation is to do it remotely, have separate different locations. So it's vulnerable to cyber attacks if you're running your business through the internet or remotely. Finish it off.
Yeah, Khan. It says Psalm chapter 64:9, and all men shall fear and shall declare the work of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider of his doing. It says the righteous shall be glad in the Lord Yahweh, and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. Yeah, because ultimately all this is ultimately the Lord's doing. As scriptures say, Lord, of course, or basically paraphrasing in Isaiah chapter 46:10, basically how the Lord, of course, well, let me go and get it to not butcher it.
Did you have a precept?
God. Yep. So this is the book of 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, going into how this man is being revealed, right? 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Yeah, that's going into the truth being brought about, right? Because like the brother was going into the internet being a double-edged sword. So starting with the prophets, we're seeing who this man truly is, all right, who the true Israelites of the Bible are, all right, and it's allowing the truth to be spread, throughout the four corners of the earth, So that goes into that, going into that double-edged sword. And I want to go down to verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So there you go.
The spirit of his mouth is the prophets.
Yep.
And the brightness of his coming is the chariots of Israel.
Yep.
So he's waiting for it, the prophecies to come to pass. All right? And we don't stop just because they're moving slow. Scripture say, though it tarry, wait for it. So,
Right.
so we just have to preach and continue to stay updated on what's going on.
Yeah. Keep reading. Verse 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all powers and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
Yeah, that's going to start here in Babylon, America. Whose coming is after the working of Satan. All right? That means your governments are not righteous. All right? It's not going to be they're going to be rich and powerful people doing this. It's not going to be just some movement of poor people or that's Satan. No, it's going to be rich and powerful people doing this. Super rich. All right? And they're going to be attached to the government.
And they're in league with other super rich people.
Yeah, it's going to be government and super rich people together doing this. It's not going to be just rich people. Oh, and the government is going to be against what these rich people are doing. No, they're together, 100%.
Yep. That's why people.
The reason why they're rich is because the government allows them to be rich.
Yep.
You can't separate the government and rich people.
Yep.
You don't become a billionaire without the government.
Yep. They're all in league with each other. That's why like Google can just buy up anything. If there's any type of threat of somebody coming up and wants to be a millionaire or a billionaire, they're just gonna buy that shit up.
I believe Google was designated a monopoly, I believe, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, there you go.
A month ago.
That makes sense. They bought damn near everything up. Remember YouTube was his own little thing. We kind of go into all the time about how all these different companies are really just sub companies of one major company. So, bought out by that company. So like the multi-billionaires are in league with the government, and they they're all moving in tangent with each other with other billionaires.
Yeah, some more. Verse 11, and for this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie.
There you go. Yeah.
So even with all the truth coming out and everything, you still got people who's gonna trust in Egypt.
Yeah.
You still got people who's gonna cling on to false idols, right?
Or trusting
Israelites.
Or trusting some AI video, like, so look at see?
Yeah.
This was just posted last week. Yeah. Jesus is real. He's a white man, whatever.
Exactly.
These are fools.
Yeah, or whatever doctrine they're gonna
it's
easily
actually
believe.
laughable. It's fucking fools.
Yeah, the scriptures go into the fools believeth every word.
Yep.
So these people just believe whatever Esau put in front of them, and we're bringing out the history of this man that he's not to be trusted.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's crazy. We're living in 2025, and you saw that.
People they're still easily gullible. It's just that we see it more because of the internet.
Yeah.
They're still the same way.
Yeah.
They may have gotten stupider, but they're still the same way. They just believe shit somebody say without fact checking.
Fact checking real.
It says Google controls 90% of the global search market.
Damn.
All right, and they've faced a lot of lawsuits.
Yep.
But so Google operates like a monopoly in certain markets, such as search and ads, but they haven't been legally defined as a
monopoly yet.
Well, because if they were, then the government would break them up. Right. But they do control most of the market. So, now, just because you control most of the market, I guess technically doesn't mean. I guess there's certain parameters you got to meet. But and again, it's supposed to be capitalism anyway, right? So, you know, why the hell would you give a fuck if it's a monopoly now? It's not like they destroy. I guess they technically do. Well, it's supposed to be capitalism, right? You make as much money as you want, but then they got monopoly laws. So Google is a giant. So I mean, and they work with the government too. So like how, you know, it's whatever the government want to do. If the government want to break them up, like it did with AT&T.
Yeah, AT&T.
Thomas Edison Company, whatever. I think he started Bell. They broke them into three: AT&T, Bell Atlantic, and Verizon. So they designated that a monopoly. I forget what year that was. I think in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. I don't know. But it used to be just one company, and I guess different owners, or they sold it to other smaller companies, and they changed the name and they developed these names. That's where you get Verizon from AT&T and Bell Atlantic. I remember Bell Atlantic. We used to have a big ass phone book. Bell Atlantic. Yep. Philadelphia. That's the copper line right there. Signals, 2 wires came through. Had no zip code, no area code. They had to put 215 in there. Just had the number. One day, I think it's in 4th grade or 5th grade, Mom said, we got an area code now. You got to put 215 in front of the number. So they ran out of numbers or something like that. The population was growing. May have something to do with the monopoly too. So that might be like the 90s or something. They broke up. I forget. But yeah, the government control all that. So if you're a monopoly, he can break you up. Or if you're a monopoly, he cannot break you up. So he control everything. Yep. It's to his advantage. All right. And when the phone company was a monopoly, they had government contract. They were helping the government out. They were giving them technology, you know. And they still decided to break them up for whatever reason.
Trying to help.
So and Google, they haven't broken them up. So I don't know what's the difference.
They probably broke.
Maybe I can ask the computer. Ask the computer. What was the difference between the original phone companies being broken up and Google?
Probably
Google not being broken up. The original phone company was Thomas Edison's company or something like that.
They probably did so you have the illusion that you have an illusion of choice like that because all these companies.
It's a play. Yeah, it's for their benefit.
Yeah, right. Because how many times people switch back and forth from AT&T and Verizon because they're really looking for the best deal. But if there's just one company, then it's kind of hard to get people to kind of like get onto a new plan, end up charging them more.
Kind of obvious, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, and search engines are digital, so that's different from like hardware companies.
Right. Yeah.
So you access it digitally.
Yeah. But the thing is that you don't have to use Google. It's just it's just the best fucking thing to use.
Yeah. So a phone, that's like a sort of a kind of a connection of necessity.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Last time I used Bing.com.
Yeah. That's what they used to use. Bing.
Yeah. But Bing is right behind.
I don't know. Yeah, who owns Bing? Is it
Bing?
Does Yahoo own? Is it
Bing
Yahoo
and
own Bing?
DuckDuckGo are right behind Google.
God got some.
Go ahead, Ray.
It says, so I said, what's the difference of the government not breaking up Google but breaking up the original phone companies? It says the government broke up the original phone monopoly, AT&T, in 1982. But it hasn't broken up Google because the situations differ legally and economically. It says AT&T, Mobile, control nearly all U.S. telephone service and hardware. It was a regulated monopoly, no competition. Every line ran through them. The breakup created regional baby bells to restore competition in communications. It says Google dominates search and digital ads, but operates in unregulated markets where users technically have alternatives, Bing, Yahoo, etc. Regulators argue monopoly behavior.
Yeah, because he started putting the phone poles up and all that. So Thomas Edison or his descendants or whoever he gave the company to, continue where he left off. Well, that was Alexander Graham Bell. Excuse me. He was into the telephone. Alexander Graham Bell. But based off certain Thomas Edison's inventions and all that, or his acquisition of inventions. But yeah, look up. Look up who owned the original AT&T company? I believe that was Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell. I think he was a Mason. I did it years ago. The original AT&T company, or was it his descendants or business partner? I'm not sure.
Gone.
Go ahead.
It says the original AT&T, American Telephone and Telegraph Company, was founded in 1885 as a subsidiary of Alexander Graham Bell's Graham Bell Telephone Company, which held his telephone patents.
Subsidiary. Yeah. Okay. So it was some business partner, or probably not a family member. But so that's the original, 1885. All right. So the communications through a wire started to take over. Communications. First communications we had was Morse code or something like that, like tapping. That was through like a wire with another wire. That's probably before radio frequency and all that. And then Alexander came up with his technology. And that goes back to the prophecy in Daniel. Knowledge being increasing, so we can get that precept.
You had a carrier pigeon and Morse code and fax and telephone. Communication timeline.
Well, you had runners first. Runners.
Oh yeah.
Running with the messages, the posts, and then you had then it advanced to air travel. That's probably ancient too.
Well, carrier pigeons.
Carrier pigeons. Yeah. But the runners, I know those.
The hawks and stuff.
The runners, that was big, and the horseback. Then that's like more advanced.
Yeah.
They got
he would send he would send someone out to the other kingdom or like that by horse.
Runners,
horse,
or running.
Yep.
Running man.
Yep.
Like the battle of the Thermopylae, or the top with the T. The marathon. You had a runner had to send a message back to winning the war or something like that. That's an example. They had runners before that, but that's like a great example of the messages. But yeah, first was footwork. Then you had like air travel with birds, and and then you had I guess some type of Morse code or something like that. But did you find something?
Yeah. Well.
Why was it a wire? Was it a wire or was it wireless? I think it was wire, right? A wire.
Yeah, it said
2 wires on both ends.
Yeah, it said electric telegraph and Morse code.
Electric telegraph. That was Edison? Was that Edison?
It said Samuel Morse.
Samuel Morse. Oh, that's where Morse code comes from.
Yeah.
Samuel Morse. He lived during right in time of Edison.
1837. So.
Before Edison.
Yeah, like before.
Before Edison.
Oh yeah. Telegraph was.
Right. Yeah. Edison studied a lot of the people that came before him. Because Thomas Edison is supposed to be the greatest inventor to ever live, apparently. But he studied, with a 3rd grade education to give me that precept, knowledge shall be increased.
Yep, I already got it.
Read it.
Yep, this is Daniel 12:4. It says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book."
And give me the other one in Ezekiel, wiser than Daniel. But
yep, Daniel 12:4. "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book. Even to the time of the end, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased."
Yeah, well, there you go. Run, literally running. So it got. That's how it was in the ancient world. Run, and you understand, because you have running men that would run, or you had them on horseback. All right. Then that running has. That's how you run a program. You run software. Run. All right. That's probably where they got the term from. Because you originally had people that would run. Oh, give me the precept that he may run that readeth it. Habakkuk. What's the other one I asked for?
Ezekiel.
Wiser than Daniel. He may run that readeth. Yeah, so the original, you run executable files and all that, is from delivering information from one location to another. All right? Or unpacking something. Because before they installed games, they would just read it. They had some type of memory or something, or RAM, PlayStation 1 and Sega and all that. And now they install. We gotta run a program, and it installs on the hard drive.
Yep.
It always go back to running the information.
Yep. Yeah, before you used to need a CD, now you don't even need a CD. You can just download it from the internet.
Play it.
Play it. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, now
run the program.
Yeah, just to run the program. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, now CDs are just basically keys now. You know, to play a game.
Yeah.
Because you know, like most of the data comes from the internet. You know, because the game has to download.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's why cybersecurity. Oh, get into cybersecurity. That's a.
Yep. Which is funny because in those CDs they had a certain code that didn't allow you to just rip it. Like you couldn't just rip like a lot of CDs, especially like gaming CDs. They made regular CDs. You could always bootleg some gaming CDs back in the early 2000s, late 90s.
I had was the Dragon Ball GT.
Oh yeah, see, yeah.
PlayStation 1.
Yep. But it was like a little bit harder to copyright these games and stuff like that. But now, now with the internet,
700 megabyte, 700 megabyte. I remember the 650 CD, the 700 megabyte. Then you had the rewritable RWs.
That's why they created CD keys.
They had the duplication machine.
That's why they had to create CD keys for like some really popular mainstream titles because if you dupe the game then you could just play online so they had to make a CD key that was attached to the very game you bought. That way you couldn't freaking just dupe it and give it to your friend or whatever.
Yeah. Plus, the games are massive now.
Oh yeah.
Because maybe 120 on average.
They can press it.
Yeah. What was that? GTA 5 that was like 3 CDs, 3 discs or like that when it first came out or like that. I think it was like
GTA 4.
GTA 4. Yeah, it was like literally 3 discs just to install. Yeah, because that was still CDs.
because it had remember the different Ballad of Gay Tony and
Oh, the DLC.
Yeah. Well, they were DVDs. Were they DVDs?
GTA 4. Look it up.
Yeah, well, they have different layers.
Blu-ray. They're
different
Blu-ray.
layers.
Yeah, Blu-ray.
It's different layers on one disc. So remember they had two-sided discs too. Of two-sided when the movies they had two-sided movies. That's all now is being increased. They putting more data on disc, but now disc kind of obsolete now. There was a time where they thought that the data was the CDs and discs.
Not CDs, but the Blu-ray.
Were never going to go away. And CDs became obsolete. Compact disc became obsolete with the advent of higher speed internet and data across networks. Because knowledge increased. They running, instead of when people running, now they're running programs. Where were we at?
Gone, Ezekiel. It says Ezekiel chapter 28:3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There's no secret that they can hide from thee.
Yeah, because they can compile data on a disk, on a hard drive, and remember everything. A man can only acquire with so much information, and the way that information is stored is different, than a prophet speaking and someone storing everything that ever happened, or the data that they can compile.
Yeah, GTA 5 was 7 discs for its physical release. For the Xbox,
GTA 5?
GTA 5, 7 discs on its release. That's the very first release back for the Xbox 360 version. That was for the PC version.
Oh, maybe for
Xbox. Sure? Xbox 360 version came with 2 discs, while the PlayStation 3 came with 1.
Oh, I had mine on PC, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, the PC had 7 discs. Xbox 360 had 2 discs, and the PlayStation 3 had 1 disc.
7 discs. Maybe it's because of the local, I
don't know. Yeah.
It was completely local. Probably something like that.
Well, they were CDs.
See, or you mean Blu-ray discs?
They were Blu-ray, 7 Blu-ray discs.
It just said 7 discs, so I'm not sure if it was most likely. It was most likely.
I mean, you can like.
But the 360,
you can ask more.
Yeah, ask that. They can search for you. They can, instead of like manually looking at stuff. We're talking about speed, right? Running, right? Computers. Just use that information. Now, the difference of Esau compiling data is he can compile data. Well, he should be compiling that his country's going to be destroyed. Did he compile that? Compiling all this data about, and then you can recall it instantly.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, so
but Yahweh Shai, he can't compile when his destruction is going to take place. He can only compile evidence that happened in the past that gives him clues. But Yahweh Shai, he knows the Father, Yahweh, knows the actual day that Babylon emerged from going out. The day that, the stock market crashed, the implantable microchip. Yahweh knows all.
We went through a whole fucking other phase.
And Yahweh tells Yahweh Shai appropriately, because the hour and the day Yahweh Shai don't know, but there's going to be a day when Yahweh Shai do know, and we don't know that. It's not like the scriptures don't say the he gonna tell him on the exact second, then he gonna come. It could be, you know, on whatever timetable the Lord decides, the Most High Yahweh decides. But as soon as Yahweh Shai knows, you know, he'll act accordingly. So if we say it's in a week, in a month, or a year, that's when Yahweh Shai gonna come. But he gonna get the information from the Father, and then he gonna act with whatever timetable the Father tells him to act on. Right? So you got the information?
Yeah. So the reason why it was released on regular disc, the reason being is because...
What year?
Oh, the game?
Yeah. Is that 2015?
Let me see.
I think it was 2015. But you just read
I think I'm just...
So what is it right now? Just one disc?
Yeah.
If you so yeah.
Well, I think it's so the initial release for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 was 2013.
2013.
Yeah.
It's GTA 5.
And then it was enhanced release for the PlayStation 4 in 2014.
So what was it? What kind of disc was it?
Then the PC version followed several months in 2015.
What kind of disc was it?
So the PC was regular disc. The reason why they were regular disc is because the Blu-ray wasn't standard in a lot of PCs. And then with 360, if you remember Xbox 360, they also didn't have Blu-ray. The PlayStation 3 was the only console that originally came out with Blu-ray capability. That's why they.
But the Xbox One had the Blu-ray, right?
Yep. So the PlayStation 3, their Grand Theft Auto disc was released on a Blu-ray disc. That's why I only needed one disc. And then to make things easier for PC players, they just released it on regular DVDs because there wasn't Blu-ray. Blu-ray was a standard in a lot of PCs.
Right. Now you just download it because they don't typically come with drives for discs anymore. Just because of the internet.
That's kind of like foreign now. Like that's why when they released the PS5, it was like you could get the disc drive if you wanted it. It cost you $100 more, but you really didn't even need it.
Kind of obsolete. It's really only if you had a DVD player, but then it's kind of obsolete.
The crazy thing is, I got the one with the CD thing. I actually never even use it. I don't think I've got a physical disc for my PlayStation 5 yet. So, you know, don't really see it's obsolete.
And see how technology can be, knowledge can increase, technology can become obsolete.
Yep.
Like they want to make cash obsolete.
Yep. There you go.
They're gonna make cash obsolete. Because most transactions are made electronically anyway. Yep. So we're gonna get to a point where they're gonna reduce. They already stopped printing certain coins, right?
Yep.
Like metal, certain metals. I think pennies. I think they said they're gonna stop making soon, something like that.
And then how much more till identification? Identification can easily go,
digital.
Digital, yeah. And that's what they need. You know?
Or they have both, have digital and hard copy. Because I don't know how much it costs to print, like the plastic and the security devices on there, but technically it already is digital because it's our ID is in a database.
2026 they're gonna stop printing pennies.
Was they gonna stop what?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But it's just an added layer of government security because our information is already digital.
Yeah.
It is playing little semantical games to add more control. The reason why we can get a physical copy because our information is in a database, stored. So now we'll be able to access it digitally in the future. Right now we can only access it going to a physical location or with a hard copy card.
Oh, first one?
I think so.
All
No,
right.
the second one.
But now, really all they have to do is give us access to where our information is already stored on a database anyway. But they're putting these stipulations and creating more bureaucracy, if I'm saying using the word right, to access our information, our data. Look up the British, what they're doing over there with them.
You see?
With the digital ID. But all our information is already digital. We just don't have access to it digitally. So what does that exactly mean when they say the British have to comply with the digital ID? Because they're playing games to get more control. Our IDs are already fucking digital, but we don't have access to it digitally. So are they actually going to have access to it digitally? Like we'll be able to log on to an app or log on to a pen.del website database because it's already there. Because the police can do that. They run your shit. They access the damn database where your fucking information is. It's already fucking digital. They're playing fucking games. All right. digital slavery. Motherfucker already digital fucking slaves.
Yeah.
They're playing these fucking damn word games, and they can build more. I can turn another server on and put the information proxy over to that server that we have access to. Maybe they keep the government server like in the background, and a firewall in between it. Go ahead.
It says the government published a new digital ID scheme explainer showing a smartphone-based ID will include name, date of birth, nationality. It says residency, status, and photo to prove identity and right of work. It says a digital identity and attributes trust framework, Gamma 0.4, takes effect, July 1st, that passed, 2025. It says setting rules for certified digital ID providers. It says a new app, government or gov.uk wallet will store digital credentials like veterans ID or driver's license, or driving licenses.
All right, so they're accessing a server with that information is on through the app. All right. So I'm sure it's going to be divided so they won't be hacked. They're going to have a public access server, there'll be some type of proxy between their main database. All right, and they'll be able to inquiry inquiry it or store it. I don't know if they want to store it permanently on there, like access to the public. But
It says, full access is planned by 2027. Key intentions and concerns: the scheme aims to make right to work checks mandatory and streamline access to services.
All right, we can end it there. Okay. So they're playing fucking games. Okay, they're playing fucking word games. They basically just want to get a damn chip in your arm, and they're trying to bridge a gap to bring that into fruition. All right. So now they're giving us access to our digital identity that already exists, which is our straw man. Technically, they're giving us access to it because our straw man was already there, which is a person that the government created, that they do business with.
Yep.
All right. So they created this person, your cowboy, and my government name. Your cowboy is actually my actual identity. All right. And the purpose is control. All right. They already control it. You're just able to, they're making a fucking big deal about it. We should be making a big deal that they're going to put a fucking chip on you, not that they're giving you access to your digital records that already exist. All right? They're giving you access to your digital records that already exist, to do other little proxy things in the background too, But ultimately to put a microchip in your arm, ultimately, to bring you closer to the microchip. Which is actually not digital. See where the trick is? It's not digital. You have access to digital stuff, but the microchip is not digital in itself. It's a physical device that's going to be put into your arm. See how Esau tricked you?
It's just a gateway.
Yeah, it's a gateway to access a database. Access something digital. All right, you got some more information you want to read on there?
All right, Khan. So to finish off Ezekiel.
Yeah, there you go.
It says, Ezekiel chapter 28:3, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There's no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast.
Yeah, because they store it on a computer, on a hard drive. It's super compressed, whatever technology they're using. Go ahead.
It says, with thy wisdom. It says, Ezekiel 28:4, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gone thee riches, and it says, and hast gone gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic.
Yeah, Esau can use the knowledge they learned over the centuries and compiled and gathered from other nations and find out where mineral resources are in the earth. And combine different chemicals up to say, okay, you got oil under the earth because of the soil has this particular chemical in it. So you must have oil under the ground, or you have silica, which you make glass with. It's not regular sand. It had to be a certain percentage of silica, I believe, in the earth. So then they can make whole glass operations. They did the whole area, hundreds of miles. That's where they get the glass sand from. Because they tested something in the soil, so this percentage of whatever that molecule is. I believe it's called silica. They make glass. And then they got a whole glass operation. Whole glass up. Now they can do all sorts of technology. Well, fiber optics come from that, right? They can make fiber optics. That goes all under the wraps the whole Earth. You look at the map with the fiber optic map. Somebody get the fiber optic map. All the connections between the colonies. Y'all probably seen it.
Yeah, silica sand.
Silica, yeah.
Yeah, 70% or 70.
Got to be 70% silica.
And then limestone and soda.
Then they can process that, right? That's stuff they learn, you know, from the nations. Either they figured out themselves or they learn from the nations. Okay, they know the processes. All right. Yeah. See how much fiber optic fiber is in the earth. How many miles? Get an estimate. You look up the different light connections. Give me a fiber optic map. You see all the nations connected, and they show you the lights connected all the countries. That's how we communicate. That's the ground-based communication for wire. There's deep sea cables. It's all fiber optics. And they actually have jobs that actually replaces those. And they have redundancy systems and all that, meaning they have parallel multiple lines that are redundant. So when they fail, when they got to replace them, there's no connection loss. So they can switch to the other cables, other fiber, and they take the old ones out. All right, deep sea. That's what it. Yeah, better. Yeah, that's we can put it on
something better.
Yeah, something better than that. I know that's what I'm talking about in general, though. That's the communications lines. All right, and that's very fast information. That's why we're able to go. Give me the use. Give me what those the uses are for those cables. Well, that's what now is being increased. All right, so. Why isn't it Daniel? There's no secret that can be hid from them. Yeah, because they can communicate over long distances and find out information. When we read the scriptures, we're reading about what's happening now. Who controls all this? Only people the main people that control this is what? Esau, Edom. He's the forefront, the spearhead. All right. Right, the technology, what other nations they have adopted and improved upon. Right? They have adopted, improved upon, and reverse engineered. You know, they talk about the Chinese stealing American technology and all that, and reverse engineer it, and then patenting it with their own shit.
Yeah.
You know, they talk about the Chinese. And then I didn't even know, even though they're the same people anyway. TikTok is Singapore, not Chinese. I believe the CEO. TikTok is from Singapore, but how it's advertised, if I'm not mistaken, is advertised in America as a Chinese app. I believe I saw a clip, and he said, "Do you have any relations to the Chinese Communist Party?" He said, "No, I'm Singaporean, right? If I'm not mistaken." Right, somebody can fact check that. But again, they're Moabites, so.
Yeah.
I believe Singapore is an autonomous state. It's autonomous state. They speak Mandarin. I think they probably, I don't know. But they're supposed to be, they're different governments. It's like Korea. It's like calling Koreans Chinese. But technically they are Moabites, but they operate differently in their government. So TikTok is a Singapore, but the propaganda we get is, oh, it's Chinese. That's a Chinese app. I'm not putting a Chinese app on my phone. All right. So if you don't actually know, but then you say, oh, they all the racial slur anyway, right? That's what you would say. All right. So I'm not putting that app on my phone. But they're Moabites. So does it matter if they're not Chinese, or does it matter because they're Moabites? So I mean, why are you not using it? All right. But now what the American government position is, from my understanding, is that they have friendly relations with China. So they're going to let Chinese doctrine influence the algorithm of TikTok. All right, which means pattern. Algorithm means pattern. All right, pattern. And this happens, so that happens. So if these conditions arise, then other conditions arise. A pattern. All right. Got info?
Gone.
It's Singapore, right?
Yeah, so yeah, he's from Singapore, the CEO of TikTok. And yeah, the language of Singapore, it says English, well, obviously English. Yeah, English, Mandarin Chinese, Malay, and Tamil. There's an Indian community there.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, that's all from what? Knowledge shall increase. And we get the information through what? Video. Right? Video and audio from the internet. It's internet superhighway. Or the World Wide Web, www, or 666.
Yeah, and it says, since 1965 they're independent nation.
Independent nation, so it's autonomous, right? Yeah, 1965. Yeah. So, but again, it doesn't matter, right? Because they Chinese anyway, right? So that's the American United States stance is. They're the same people anyway, so. But they call it Chinese. Like the propaganda we get, it's Chinese. So if it was Korean, would you call them Chinese? They're Moabites, right? I know you don't give a shit anyway. But let's move on. if they're not if they don't have friendly relations and you can't control it, they're gonna talk shit about it. You are wiser than Daniel. There's no secret that can be hid from thee. Right. Well, one secret is when your destruction is going to come about.
Shit.
You know, that's something that you don't know.
Yeah.
Babylon, America's destruction is a secret. All right. Did you have something you wanted to add? Or?
Yeah, I got that Habakkuk that you wanted.
Read it,
Habakkuk 2:1. It says, "I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am approved. And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it."
Yep, that he may run that readeth it. All right, carry that message. All right, spread the message. All right, we do that via the internet. All right. Running a program on the internet. That's how we read. We click an app, the program's running. All right. You install the app, you got to run that program. All right. That he may run that readeth it. Look up run. See what it says. It's our job to interpret the scriptures for you because you don't know. All right. Esau sometimes he only adds limited. Explanations or outlines of biblical usage in his lines, but we know that he may run and readeth it. We know that's the message being passed along via word of mouth, but more so over, them fiber optic lines, all right, over the light. So it says tabernacle for the sun. Can you find that? Get that precept. It all starts with light. We went over this last week, a week before. Before we went to Philly. Yeah, we went to we're just saying the same thing over and over again anyway, so that's good. It reinforces your understanding. All right, so yeah, we get all our power from the light, from the sun. Whether it's we went over this 2 weeks ago. Whether it's light that you get visible light, well, really all of the light we get the information from is invisible. So when we went over the electromagnetic spectrum and all that stuff, it's different wavelengths of light. I'm saying it right. Most of it's invisible. All right, but the visible light powers the satellites. The visible light powers the satellites. Well, I guess the light that's actually powering it probably can't see it, but you can say we can see it. That powers the satellites, and then in turn, radio waves goes down to the feed horn. To the satellite dishes, the big, I'm not talking about your damn dish network shit. I'm talking about those big ass dishes. The feed horn, all right, goes into it, and then goes into wires and goes into the fiber optics and the microwaves and all that. All right. So we get our information from the light. And that's the conclusion we came to 2 weeks ago. We get all our information from the light. The tabernacle for the sun.
Gone. It says Psalm 19:4, "Their line has gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world.
Yeah.
And-
How did it happen? Through light. All right. And what's the other analogy? Okay. That we are a light to the world. Get that? Can't be hid. All right. So it all work together. Go ahead.
It says, in them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun.
So the tabernacle was what? A house of worship. What the scrolls? Scrolls are read daily. All right. Where the scrolls are read weekly. So where ceremonies are take place. Laws and ordinances are observed. Tabernacle, or a tent of meeting. I forget what it say.
Yeah, tent.
Tent of meeting. That's what the cloud. Remember, it was a precept where the cloud came down and covered. Find that precept. And the glory kicked in Exodus. Find that precept. The glory came down. Yahweh Shai came down and filled the house with smoke. Roughly, I might be mixing up two scriptures. That's a powerful scene right there. That's an event that happened. All right. It said it covered the mercy seat. I believe it happened in Exodus. All right. That's over the tabernacle. All right. So Moses had to know a lot. Had to have a lot of information, and he came down with light. All right. So it's all about the light. All right. Oh, Yahweh Shai spoke about the light of the body is the eye. All right, so it all ties in. So yeah, we learn the truth through the internet. Definitely. Yeah, through YouTube, yeah. You know that's how most people learn things today, it's through the internet. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
you know, web-based learning and all that. They even have tests that they can monitor you on the computer. They put a camera there where you gotta turn your webcam on to take the test. All right, so it's like a more advanced learning or advanced testing, so you don't have to go to a physical location, so you pay for whatever certification you're gonna get. You can take the test at home with a webcam looking at your ass. All right, so you can't cheat. Well, there's other ways I can figure it out if I wanted to cheat, but that's a legitimate way to take a test where they don't want you to not be an open book. All right. I can put a damn earpiece in my ear. Yeah, it's real small that you can't fucking see.
You can use overlays.
There you go. Yeah, but they have tests like that. That's how they want you to come in and take the test. But yeah, put the webcam on. Yeah, I studied anyway. I'm pass. But yeah, if you want to do that, I'll find a way. It's overlays. Yeah, because I'm not giving them that. Well, they might have to give you access to the computer. You might have to give them access to the computer for the testing.
I mean, not because you can run like a VM using it.
Okay. They don't have that.
Yeah.
Check. All right. We'll go ahead. What we got?
It said, so I got tabernacle.
Tabernacle. Okay. Good.
It says Exodus chapter 33:7, and Moses took the tabernacle and pitched it without the camp. It says afar off from the camp and called it the tabernacle of the congregation. And it came to pass that everyone which sought the Lord Yahweh went out onto the tabernacle, it says, of the congregation, which was without the camp. It says, and it came to pass when Moses went out of the tabernacle that all the people rose up. It says, and stood every man at his tent door and looked after Moses until he was gone into the tabernacle. And it came to pass as Moses entered into the tabernacle, that the cloudy pillar descended, and it says, and stood at the door of the tabernacle, and the
cloudy pillar descended. So what do you think that was? All right, that was an angel. Cloudy pillar. That's probably might be Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
Well, read that verse again. Cloudy pillar descended.
It says Exodus chapter 33:9, and it came to pass.
Powerful. Good.
It says, and it came to pass as Moses entered into the tabernacle, that the cloudy pillar descended and stood at the door of the tabernacle.
That's a so-called. It's definitely a UFO. All right, theophantic angel. I guess how you saw describe it. Phenomena. So some dumbasses think that was just some smoke. Like what? It's clearly supernatural. All right, this is very important. This is going to happen again. This is what's going to save our ass. All right, during time of Jacob's trouble when it comes to fourth fruition with the microchip implant. All right, the clouds descended. Go ahead.
It says, and the Lord Yahweh talked with Moses, and yeah, it says the Lord is italicized. So
There we go. Yeah. So yeah, it was Yahweh. All right. What could mean Yahweh Shai there too?
I got precept
Go
to back that up too.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
You want my,
Yeah,
oh,
no, go
more?
ahead. Continue. Yeah.
Con. It's in Exodus chapter 33 and 10. It says, and all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door, and all the people rose up and worshipped, every man in his tent door.
All right. No, this will never come out in the church because this is like
It's too deep.
it's too deep. It's too deep. Oh, that's a spooky stuff. Oh, we can't. You don't know what that was.
Oh no, that's done away with.
Yeah, that's never going to come. Yeah, okay, see that? See, and we're the building of the Lord anyway. So we're the tabernacle. So definitely the pillar, the smoke. What it said? How it describe it?
Yeah, it said
cloud.
Yeah, the cloudy pillar. descended.
Cloudy pillar. A pillar. Cloudy pillar came. There go pillar.
Yeah, Con. It says I'm a wad. Yeah, meaning column, upright. It also says column of smoke.
Column of smoke.
I.e. platform.
Yes, that was like a rectangle or a square pillar.
Yeah, cylinder.
A cylinder, cylinder. So I mean, hey, it could be any. The Yahweh Shai can come down, or the spirits can come down in different shapes of chariots, so-called UFOs. All right, or aerial phenomena, unidentified aerial phenomena. All right, that was it.
Yeah, or you con just one more. It says Exodus chapter 33 and 11, and the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp, but his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Next, who says you?
Yeah, it's just basically backing up what the brother just read. It's Psalms 99 and verse 7. Verse 6. Psalm 99 and 6. Moses and Aaron among his priests, and Samuel among them that call upon his name. They called upon Yahweh, and he answered them. He spake unto them in the cloudy pillar. They kept his testimonies and the ordinance that he gave them. Here, the Lord spoke to them in that cloudy pillar. The Lord there is all caps. So,
Cloudy pillar. Right, the cloudy pillar is angel, a spirit, powerful spirit coming down to give an order or a judgment, or to increase the faith of the seers, people that see. Those are our ancestors from the different tribes. They knew it was their God. All right, it was our God that came down in that cloud, the one that delivered them out of Egypt. All right. Got more? Yeah.
Ghana, and yeah, also I got the word for run from Habakkuk 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ghana, so the Hebrew word, it says rawatazah. Yeah, Ghana, it says rawatazah, meaning it says to bring or move quickly, hurry. It says to drive away from, cause to run away, runners. Yeah, it says divide speedily, footmen guard, bring hastily.
Said divide speedily.
Yeah, divide speedily.
Yeah, package. So, yes, you can say that's a torrent of bits of information, and it recombines on the other end through the different hardware. Yeah, run. Go ahead. More. That was it.
Yeah, Con, that's it.
That's it. Okay. All right, give me the precepts I asked about the light. It says, it says that we are the Lord's building. We are Peter's. And it says the light of the body is the eye.
Yeah, it's gospel. Light of the body is the eye.
Yeah, the eye be single.
Yeah.
Whole body is full of light.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so everything operates on the light. All right.
Yeah.
Well, light and no light.
So, you want the light of the body?
Whatever went first.
All right. Yep, I'm gonna read it out of the book of Matthew. So Matthew 6 and 22 says, "The light of the body is the eye. Therefore, I'll start at verse 21. It says, Matthew 6:21 says, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light.
Single, the whole body is full of light.
But if thy eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?"
Yeah, so we got to get our knowledge, from Yahweh Shai. He gave his Holy Spirit for the information to penetrate our brain. So if we don't have the Holy Spirit to make us understand, it's impossible to understand the knowledge that's given to us. So look at light in that precept, light.
Yep.
I got it.
2 or 3 words. Go ahead, read it.
It says, Revelation chapter 3:20, it says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door," it says, "I will come in to him and will sup with him and he with me." Yeah, and ultimately, the Lord supping with us is him, of course, giving us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Of course, giving us the Holy Spirit, to be able to discern, basically, again, basically within this world. Read again. It says, Revelation chapter 3:20. It says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any may hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him and he with me." Yeah, that's the point. Ultimately, of course, going into Yahushua, dealing with his elect. So yeah, that's it.
Say it again.
Revelation 3:20. So read again. It says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any may hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him." And it says, "and will sup with him and he with me." Yes, so ultimately, ultimately it's going into Yahushua, dealing with his elect. Giving us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And of course, giving us the of course, understanding of the book.
Understanding the book, yeah. Well, I said the Lion of the tribe of Judah has prevailed to open the book.
The word light.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's 2 different Greek words here for light. Luknos for the light of the body, and then full of light being phothenos. Yeah, so for the word for phothenos, the full of light, is G5460 says light, composed of light, of a bright character, full of light or well lit. The Strong's definition, lustrous, an example transparent.
You're reading both of them, right? Or just reading one?
I read both of them, but this one got more to the point. The other one just pretty much just says light. This one has more of a more of a figurative sense, From G5457, lustrous, an example transparent or well illuminated, or bright or full of light. That the scriptures talk about walking with with light, being illuminated ones. And then the other word for light is pretty much straightforward.
We're at the day, Thessalonians, get that.
Luknos, luknos, a lamp, candle that is placed on a stand or candlestick.
Luknos.
Yeah, so candle or light. But the scriptures talk about, there's a parable about, the candlestick, right? And the oil.
Esau rising with the light, something like that, if I'm paraphrasing. The murderer rising with the light, I'm saying that right. Esau, it's Esau having the perverting the scriptures.
Damn, killed the poor and needy. I got it said Job 24 if you want to rise with the light.
Yeah.
This is Job chapter 24 verse 14. It says, "The murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and needy, and in the night is as a thief."
Yeah, that goes into colonialism. Goes into Esau, persecuting the Israelites and using the precepts to subjugate Israel through the perversion of the scriptures. Right? The scriptures speak about the servant. Let's talk about other Israelites, but the masses are other Israelites too. Right? Not obey a damn Edomite. Right? But Esau, you had your time. Now we were servants. Right? And for a time we were supposed to obey you. That was our lot. Right? But in the kingdom, we're not going to obey Esau anymore. Right now, we're obeying Esau. Right? Esau totally perverted the interpretation of the scriptures. Right? That's why he has something called a slave Bible. Right? Which is highly amended scriptures. Highly amended, cut off from the full truth. Full truth was talked about the Exodus, leaving the oppressors, escaping the oppressors. Esau cut that out with the slave Bible, and used scriptures like the servant shall obey his master. Right? With the explanation of we are the servants, and Esau is the master. So the white man is the master. So he perverted it. So the light is the scriptures, but he amended the light. Okay, he only put in there precepts that were used to control. And that's what the new system, the new order is about. It's about controlling. Right. And then one of the Matrix references is that it was using the body to power the AI systems, to power the robots, the body, the human body. All right. Because we're the drone workers, so you want to use us to build the system. Use us as like batteries, basically. So workers, like a battery is like a workman. So you want to use us as slaves to keep the system alive. Because without the people, the system is going to die. So you got to keep us slaves in the system, hardwired to the system. All right, so we can continue to give off to produce work, energy, power, the ability to do work. Power. So we basically like batteries. I think the fucking car's locked. Walk away from your car, still clicking and shit. So now I think you got something in there. So that's what Esau thinks of us. We're basically like little batteries, put together in cells, or work brigades, work camps to work for Esau. Right? So they're talking about this universal basic income thing. So, because according to the law, they can organize us in work brigades. When you start looking up the executive orders, it's one of the things they can do. They can galvanize the people into work brigades, and they can take over different, say, commodities or mineral resources, different executive orders. So, the new system is about control. All right, new system is about control. If they have computers, operating a lot of things, there's going to be less and less jobs. Less and less jobs. But we'll see how far Esau get. He may not get that far before your shots start burning his ass up.
Man, you gotta look at it historically. Esau just is always about gaining more and more control. So when you see that as his technology has been increasing, it's just more about how much more control can Esau gain over the population.
So it's all engineered. Because if they really want it, like in a consensus basis, they could just all switch to fucking robots. But they would have to do that with consensus, because that's a very expensive upgrade. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Right, so
which takes a lot of resources from the earth too, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's why they want the oil and the
right, exactly.
the lithium and all that.
Yep. Certain steels, gold, all that stuff,
nickel,
right?
gold,
Remember,
silver.
it's very it's not an easily attainable resource, but you know the backs of the fucking people. That's keep popping out children, keep making them slaves, and keep making them work. You know,
have to increase the number because they know they can put it in the computer and say, okay, if I want to build this amount of robots, we're going to need this amount of lithium and gold and silver.
Yep.
So they have to do that 10 years in advance to get control of those sources. So it's like the timeline will come into fruition as they build and increase.
Right.
They'll still have the amount of resources coming in and machines coming, buildings going up.
You need the production resources in order to you have that.
What do they call that? It's kind of a production pipeline. It's a timeline for production from the earth to a whole warehouse being built. They got to compile, like when they built the first house, David compiled the materials. Same thing. You can't just build a house. You got to plan it. First, you got to gather the materials. Give me when David gathered the materials and Solomon built it.
You need a land.
David gathered materials throughout his whole life. Going to war with the Canaanites and the Philistines. Slaughtering them. David compiled the materials. Same thing for this automation stuff. You got to compile the materials, and then make that investment. And then planning, and that's cost hundreds of millions of dollars. So if I could see them doing one consensus, like the top 10 producers get together and say we're just switching to fucking robots.
Because it's easy to print up some money and then fucking shovel it to some sort of tech company saying, hey, listen, here's $200 million, just build me X amount of robots, but the robots got to be built from the resources, and the resources aren't really there. Remember, they were saying there was a so-called shortage for chips and stuff like that. That's why, when the graphic cards first come out,
that was engineered.
Yeah, exactly. But they make these chips hard to attain, and then certain people get their hands on it, they're able to increase the market.
Right, look up the Bosch warehouse.
BOSCH.
Bosch manufacturing. Yeah. They have so advanced. They have I believe it's the Bosch. I believe it's in Germany or somewhere in UK. They have it's electrically isolated, where it's not connected to the outside. Some highly advanced technology. So it's like earthquake proof or resistant. So we have it's like a shell, but the inside of it is separated from the outside, so it can withstand earthquakes and electromagnetic interference. That's how highly advanced these facilities are. How much you think a facility like that costs? Produce these microchips and these different sensors and everything like that, and to continue to manufacture supplies. All right. So you saw that's not something that anybody can just construct. You have to have a highly advanced construction company to do that. The Bosch, I guess you can put how advanced is the Bosch manufacturing facility, and then put some of the things I said and see if I got the right accurate information, like electrically isolated from the outside. I saw this documentary. I didn't know that they had warehouses that were or manufacturing facilities that were this. I think that's probably how Thailand's because to produce microchips like that, you gotta have a very advanced building. You can't just put machines in a regular warehouse to produce highly advanced technology like that. You gotta have a special building. All right. So Esau knows all this shit. All right. And then the Moabites, learned it, the pieces of it. And then they came up with their own design plans, and they created that facility or multiple facilities in Thailand. Is that Thailand or is that Thailand or
Taiwan, right?
Taiwan. I get the two Thais mixed up. Taiwan. All right. So you can put something like how advanced is the facility in Taiwan? Give me some unique. And then I want to look at the Bosch facility. I believe it's in Germany or Sweden. It's one of them. Make sure you tell it to amend the information. Don't give you a whole bunch of information. Stick to the pertinent information.
Gone.
What you looking at? What you looking at?
Yeah, how advanced is the facility in Taiwan?
All right, go ahead.
Gone. So it says. The semiconductor, it's like a facility run by Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC, in Taiwan is extremely advanced, globally leading to both manufacturing and capability and scale. Yeah. So it says
multi-billion-dollar chip.
TSMC operates multiple large 12-inch wafer fabrication plants, or yeah, it says in Taiwan, with annual capacity exceeding 60 million 12-inch equivalent wafers. It says the company has begun establishing 2 nanometer. Well, I mean, it's not giving what I said.
Yeah, but it's highly advanced. But put it in like program it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it'll give you layman's terms and what do you have?
I got a couple of things on it that kind of a little more specific.
What?
The manufacturing company, TSMC, that's going into.
In Taiwan.
Yeah. Because you want some of some of the characteristics that it has that allows it.
That's unique.
Yeah. So a little bit of information. It does allow minimal disruption because this company manufactures semiconductor chips and stuff. It says the primary goal for chip manufacturing facilities is not just to prevent collapse, but to ensure that production can resume quickly, as even a slight vibration can destroy entire batches of highly precision.
That's what I'm talking about. Even a slight vibration. All right, so go ahead. Go on to
Yep. It says, but to ensure that production can resume quickly, as even a slight vibration can destroy entire batches of highly precision semiconductors. Proven resilience. A major earthquake in April 2024, the biggest in Taiwan in 25 years, caused minimal impact to TSMC's advanced facilities, with overall equipment recovery in most fabs.
All right, so I want to know how that technology works. That's all I want to
I think it's
Yeah, I got something.
No, stop right there. All right, what do you got?
Gone. So it says, so it goes into lithography. It says uses EUV extreme ultraviolet, it says lithography from ASML, which projects 13.5 nanometer wavelength light to carve circuits atom by atom. It says a single EUV
carve circuits atom by atom.
Yeah.
Okay, that's highly advanced. That's why you can't just create a facility like that. Now again, Esau can if he wanted to in the States. For some reason, maybe he does. It's just on a smaller scale. He's got to just do the research. Go ahead. It's atom by atom. Okay, that's precision. Go ahead. And you got to have people trained on that. That's why manufacturers not coming back to America. At least we don't think. Go ahead.
Gone. It says
that type of manufacturing, but we can do some research. Go ahead.
Gone. So it says a single EUV machine costs circa 200 million, 200 million, and requires a vacuum system cleaner than space.
So it operates in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Atom by atom. What?
It says each wafer undergoes 700 to 1,000 process steps and over 20 masks before becoming a finished chip.
700. What's the timeline? What?
It says, point 3, it says environment quality operates in ISO class 1 clean rooms.
ISO class 1, what?
It says the most sterile man-made environments with fewer than 10 particles per cubic meter. It says temperature and humidity controlled within 0.1 Celsius and 0.1% RH. It says water purity, ultra pure says UPW at less than 1 part per billion impurities.
Find out who owns that company, find out the name of the company, and find out, do we have any companies like that in the United States?
It's some more technology. Some of the FABs, such as Fab 18, incorporate a cutting-edge semisonic isolation and dampening technology. Says these systems use oil dampers, and other techniques to absorb seismic forces, reducing
Seismic,
there we go. Seismic forces.
Seismic.
Yeah. Basically like earthquake.
Right. That's the Greek word, seismo, something like that. Seismo.
Reducing building vibrations to a fraction of the actual seismic movement.
Yeah, so that's when you produce microchips. I believe you have to have that technology. So I believe Bosch has that same technology.
And then
oil. So it's basically like a room within a room. So you have a building,
yep.
and then you have it's floating on oil. All right. So again, that's highly advanced manufacturing.
Yep. And then the continuous operation, it says these robust design allows critical equipment, including advanced extreme ultraviolet EUV lithographic machines, which I tried to look that up to see if we got any of that stuff. It says to remain undamaged and quickly return to seamless 24/7 operation. So while all this shit is going on, they made sure they have specific machines to just keep this seamless operation going.
There you go. All right, now again, the Moabites didn't invent this technology themselves. They just happened to make the investment. You know, I'm sure certain things they pioneered, but it's like the floating room within a room, floating. They have like sound rooms like that, not floating, but oil, but room within a room for sound. That's the best, supposedly the best sound you can get. To block outside noise, you basically have a room within a room, like a floating room. To have total noise isolation to record the best audio.
It's funny, we're talking about monopolies. Apparently, these machines that we're talking about, ASML is the only company that produces these machines, making its technology a critical bottleneck for chip manufacturing globally.
What technology are you talking about?
The
ASML. What specifically?
The ASML, advanced EUV lithographic machines.
Okay.
They're made exclusive by ASML and are critical for manufacturing the most advanced semiconductors by using a wavelength of 13.5 nm to print tiny circuit patterns onto silicon wafers.
So that was probably the atom cutting you were talking about.
Yeah. It says these machines are complex, expensive, costing over $300 million for high NA, and essential for producing chips that power modern technology like AI and quantum computing.
Yeah, it also says each transistor on these chips is smaller than a virus, over 300 million per square millimeter.
So they can definitely produce microchips to put in your damn arm. Right?
Yeah.
They can definitely produce that. That'd be nothing for them. They're actually too big. They're cutting atoms apparently. All right. So technology is there. Yeah. The production, the pipeline is there. You just have to the timeline's got to be right. All right. The timeline got to be right. All right.
Do you want to know where I can tell you the headquarters of the
name
ASML?
of the company. The name of the company.
Yeah. So it says the sole manufacturer of advanced EUV lithographic machines is ASML, a company headquartered in Veldhoven, the Netherlands. It's a Dutch public company listed on both the AEX Amsterdam and Nasdaq Stock Exchange. I'm trying to see where the U.S. might use ASML because I think it says it partners with it. It says the United States played a significant role in the initial research and development of EUV technology, with early efforts by the U.S. government and labs solving many fundamental problems. ASML machines rely heavily on global supply chain, including critical components from the U.S.
So are you saying this technology is leased out to other people? That's the correlation you're making here, or are you look up something else?
No, the machine ASML. The major manufacturer of ASML machines is a headquarters in the Netherlands.
I'm saying, are you continuing from the information you read before?
Oh yeah.
Like I'm asking you, is this technology being leased out? Because you were originally looking up the company in Taiwan, correct?
Yeah, but the company in Taiwan that uses this technology.
So they lease the technology out to other companies.
Yeah.
All right, you can continue.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that it?
Yeah, it's basically it. Yeah, I mean it's the same thing as like if you had a production company or a warehouse and you wanted to get the production out, you would need machines to do it, right? So you would get the machine to produce chips, like the Taiwan company being one of the largest that produces these chips. They also have they are also manufacturing using the absolute best stuff they can get, right? So whatever that may be, the ASML machines, they're using the absolute best to manufacture the absolute most.
Chip. Well, when Johanna said, or whoever said it, well, they got a chip. No, I think not Johanna, but Bishop Nathaniel, General Johanna. Bishop Nathaniel said, "Yeah, chip in your phone or something like that."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they ready to make the chips.
Yep.
I mean, these chips, they're available. They have the infrastructure for it to mass produce chips.
Yeah.
So, you got information?
And the possibilities that these chips have are really endless. You know, I mean, what they could be used for. I mean, you see how the chips has evolved over the years. So now it's simply in your phone that the amount you can do with just, with your phone is
gone. So it says ownership of Taiwan. You're at TSMC. It says TSMC is a publicly traded Taiwanese company founded in 1987 by Morris Chang. It says the largest shareholder is Taiwan's National Development Fund, holding approximately 6.38% of shares. It says other major investors include institutional funds like BlackRock, 5.09%. It says in capital research and management company, 3.61%.
Okay, all right. The name of the owner is who? Chang, something
yeah, Morris Chang.
Morris Chang, okay. And what's the name of this company? That's the only two pieces of information I really needed.
Gone.
The name of his company and his name.
Well, yeah, it says he's a founder.
He's the founder?
Yeah, TSMC.
TSMC, does TSMC stand for anything?
Well, yeah, TSMC is a Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing company.
Yeah, what does it stand? TSMC. What does it mean?
Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company.
That's the whole name. Okay.
It's literally the company name, but just abbreviated.
That's the acronym. All right.
And I looked up TSMC was the first company in the industry to successfully commercialize the ASML's EUV technology. What I was reading about earlier about that. Yeah.
And the dude in '94.
Yeah. Technology's there. All right. But I guess somebody on the top got to pull the trigger on when they're gonna start putting chips in people.
Yeah. And if you want to see how far up the pipeline goes, or how far you can down, you can say the TSMC, which is the Taiwan's semiconductor company, right, is heavy reliance on ASML's EUV machines. It's crucial to its ability to manufacture the world's most advanced chips for major tech companies like Apple, NVIDIA, AMD, and Qualcomm. So
that's from Sweden, you said. Swedish company. So it leases their, I guess, machines out to them, and they use their machines.
Yep. To make these chips.
Or they operate in their facilities with the machines, and they can't touch it.
Yeah.
And then they pass it all along to the area of the warehouse or manufacturing facility.
Because it's the same thing if you had a warehouse and you wanted a crown lift to move your product around, you would lease out from Crown, the manufacturer. You wouldn't build your own crown and make your own. They already have it. They already have the equipment, so you might as well just lease out the equipment so that you can move your production.
Yeah, look that up. Look up. Do they
lease it out?
Do they lease it out so their companies can operate it independently, or do they lease it out where they gotta have their people from actual Sweden only operate their machines?
Right.
So, I mean, I got classes like the top secret, so like Saudi Arabia, release the planes out to the Arabians, but the Arabians cannot work on the F-16 fighter jets. They can't work on them. You have American soldiers over there that work on the technology of the jets and the helicopters. All right, because the information is classified. So, but normally technology, they lease it out and then they show them how to work the machines. Of course, they can't open it up or look inside of it. They can only operate.
Oh yes, okay. So from what this is saying, it says that chip manufacturing companies purchase the advanced EUV machines from ASML. They do not lease them. It says the semiconductor companies then own and operate these machines independently with their own fabricated plants or fobs. And it only costs $200 to $370 million per unit.
So who repairs them?
Probably them. It's like,
look it up. So who repairs
it says maintenance and support. It says ASML provides extensive service, maintenance, and upgrade support to its customers. These machines are incredibly complex, and ASML engineers work closely with the chip makers to ensure the systems run efficiently and reliable. So, service business is a significant part of ASML's revenue. Which it's funny because if you want to go into this whole thing, the whole like McDonald's ice cream machines. When you buy a McDonald's franchise, you have to use that ice cream machine, and then in order to service the ice cream machine, you have to use the service technicians. Like if you actually go into that, because it's it's an ongoing joke that McDonald's ice cream machines are always broken. They actually kind of go into that. There was actually an agreement that they made many years ago that listen, we'll give you this ice cream machine, but you have to work with McDonald's. Only can work with that ice cream machine. And I guess they have to use their services or their people to come and fix it like that. Like you can't just be any old body that just can troubleshoot it. So
yeah, that's what you buy into if you get under the McDonald's brand.
Yep.
You buy into a franchise.
Yep. But so for in this case, the ASML company like that, they make a lot of their money, the revenue off of the fact that okay, we're going to send the maintenance mechanics out, the maintenance techs out to you.
Or provide phone support.
Right. Whatever.
They made every time you need a diagnostic or repair, they charge you for it.
Right.
But yes, they $300 million per unit, $200 million per unit, how much it costs, depending on the machine. Yes, it's a lot of money. But then, how many people are actually? I'm sure they have software too, right? They probably lease software out. That's how you get rich, by leasing.
Yeah.
Not by selling.
Right,
That's how Bill Gates got rich, by leasing the MS-DOS. Look that up. Initially, how much money did Bill Gates make by leasing Windows? Was it 3.1 or whatever, MS-DOS, whatever that's how he got rich. I believe it was by leasing, because he was somebody. I guess somebody was going to buy it from him. He said, "No, I'm going to lease it." And every computer in America is going to run this my software.
Damn.
I believe he said some shit like that. But you get money, you get rich by subscriptions, leasing.
Yeah, subscriptions, leasing.
Not just by selling it.
Yep.
The MS-DOS thing or whatever, Windows before it became big and all that.
Yeah.
But that's how he got big. Was his original software. Whether he stole it or made it himself, I heard different theories.
Yeah, it's all about the lucrative income, right? Like the fact that like if you purchase one thing one time, there's no money to be made after that. But if they create a plan, a monthly plan or something.
It was a graphic interface instead of using command lines. I believe that's what how he got rich, if I'm not mistaken. Because Windows had a graphic interface. Meaning you can point and click instead of just typing stuff on the line. You tell it to do stuff. Like go into a folder, you would have to just type in what folder you want to go to, / but Bill Gates had the graphic interface. Or Microsoft did. But you have some information real quick?
Gone. It says when Microsoft licensed MS-DOS to IBM in 1981, it says Bill Gates structured one of the most profitable deals in tech history, not by selling it, but by it says licensing it per PC. It says here's a breakdown. So Microsoft bought the original system QDOS from Seattle Computer Products for about $50,000. Instead of selling it outright to IBM, Gates licensed it non-exclusively, meaning Microsoft could sell it to other PC makers. IBM paid roughly $40,000 for its license, but Microsoft kept ownership and charged royalties per unit sold. It says this decision led Microsoft earn from every IBM compatible PC that followed.
That's why everybody want to create an app so they can get rich.
Exactly. It's a licensing. Yep. And that goes. I mean, that licensing goes. I mean, look at comic books, right? If you create a certain comic superhero, you can then license that idea to a company to distribute it. But like Disney, they bought out a lot of the rights to be able to distribute a lot of these, comics that's been created, or like comic superheroes, I guess you could say.
Yeah. And I believe. So who got more from? We don't need that much, but go ahead.
It says by the late 1980s, MS-DOS had been installed on over, 100 million computers, generating hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. It says laying the foundation for Gates' early fortune and Microsoft.
All you had to do is keep updating it. Yeah. That's all you had to do, and then just keep licensing it. Okay. So that's free money. Free money. So now that's on every computer in America. Well, not every computer, but the majority of computers. Isn't that a monopoly? Monopoly. Yeah, they had, and then when you had the OS, you had the Mac. He too was competing, but
Well, he brought up,
Microsoft just crushed Mac.
he brought up IBM. I think I looked up earlier. IBM got sued for a possible monopoly back earlier. Let me look it up again.
Yeah, originally wasn't IBM doing the tattoos and all that with the so-called J's, International Business Machine? IBM. Well, they originally computating the computator machine. Something about IBM and the identification International Business Machine. They were the first ones to start cataloging data on a large scale like that.
IBM was considered a near monopoly in the mid 20th century due to its dominance in the market for mainframe and general purpose computers. But it was, I think,
IBM and collecting
I think it was
data.
like 80.
During World War II.
The primary DOJ case was eventually dropped in 1982, ruled without merit. That's IBM.
I think IBM doing more so like business servers now. I think they do. IBM and like
they definitely changed their model for a little while. I mean, IBM was the main. A lot of companies use IBM.
Yeah, hardware.
Banks, I believe, were using IBM.
Like servers and stuff, and hard drives and motherboards.
It says, yes, IBM was the first company to compute data on a truly large scale. It says long before, modern digital computers. It says, it says early milestones. 1930s punch card era.
Punch card,
it says IBM dominated. First it was called International Business Machines. It says dominated mechanical data processing using punch card tabulators and sorters.
Tabulator, tabulator. I heard the bot talk about that from years ago. Tabulator, punch cards. It's before microchips. Punch cards. Got more?
And then it goes to 1944, 1950, 1952, 1964.
So did they have something to do with the microchip? IBM?
Let me see.
Yep, now it's showing. Oh, Manasseh. Did we read that scripture yet? Manasseh run to and fro.
Yeah,
read it. You read it. You read it. Let's read it. Read it again. Bring it back up. So that's the evolution of technology. Punch cards. Punch cards. Messages. What it all ties into messages, because that's what it's doing, right? Sending and receiving packets of information. That's how the computers work. Packets broke down into the smaller bits, right? Then they come back together on the other side. So it's messages broken apart. You have the whole message, and the message breaks apart, transports through medium of light, and then it recombines back together on the other side. Right? So it all works together. Right?
A bit, obviously either a 0 or a 1.
0 or 1.
So that's the most basic unit. It says. Bit is the most basic.
Give me a bit of information. Give me a bit.
It says a bit is the most basic unit of information in computing, representing a two-state value, either a 0 or a 1. So It also says, it says yes, IBM played a major role in developing the microchip and semiconductor industry as we know it. They didn't invent the microchip, but they pushed it into a powerful, commercial, and scalable form.
Same thing with near-field communication too. They helped a lot out with near-field communications and stuff like that. The NFC, which is you don't have to actually insert the chip. You can just kind of put the chip nearby, and it
well, it's a radio frequency.
It sends a signal without actually having to put it into anything.
You got more information?
Yeah.
But then I want you to look up who created the who discovered, not created, the radio wave wireless.
It says, so it says the invention 1950s, 1960s, the microchip or integrated circuit was invented by Jack Kilby at Texas Instruments 1958.
Texas Instruments. So he's an employee?
It doesn't say, but probably.
Texas integrated circuit or microchip.
It says, and Robert Noyce at Fairchild Semiconductor. 1959. It says IBM quickly recognized its potential and began massive R&D investment to use integrated circuits in computers.
What was the purpose of the integrated circuit? What was the purpose back then? They're in computers now, but what was the point of integrated circuit? integrated circuits.
So it says the purpose of integrated circuits, or ICs, was to combine multiple electronic components into a single compact, reliable chip, making computers and electronics faster, smaller, cheaper, and more efficient. It says before ICs, circuits were built with individual transistors. It says it's lucky. It says resistors and capacitors soldered by hands onto circuit boards. It says this made machines large, fragile, power hungry, and prone to wiring errors. Yeah, so it says early computers filled entire rooms and required constant maintenance. So yeah.
Read the precept.
Yep. Daniel 12:4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
So, filled entire rooms. Now it's in the, it's this small. Size of it's flat. Now it's flat. It's on boards, And the rest of the apparatus is for cooling and holding. The actual computer is thin. It's on like a plate. So from the size of a room to a plate. All right? But then you have to have the cooling apparatus and cooling. That's really the space and cooling. And attachments, peripherals they call them, right? Peripherals. Hard drives, memory, RAM, random access memory. It's a proper way to say it. Random access memory, RAM. Right? The memory, battery for the keep the time clock and all that. Settings, just when the power's off. Capacitor, what do you call it? Capacitor. Right. So is run the same word as in Habakkuk? Run.
Let me see.
You have something else you want to add? Or?
Yeah, console says purpose in simple terms.
I'll shut it down after this.
Console says purpose in simple terms. It says the integrated circuit was created to solve the chaos of wiring, to make machines think faster and fit in your hand instead of a warehouse. It said it turned electronics from mechanical systems into microscopic
wire. So it solved wires.
Yeah.
So you connect devices together, not by a wire, but by an integrated circuit or a chip.
Yeah, kind of.
You can bring it. You can connect two different things together. Yeah, you can finish it off there.
Yeah, it says it turned electronics from mechanical systems into, it says, microscopic architectures that leap. It's like it says the leap that birthed the modern computer age. So that's cool.
Yeah. So the technology is increasing, right? And the infrastructure is definitely there. Just the willingness, and with a proper timetable we have to wait for. All right, we'll leave it there. All right, we'll be edified. Shalom.